Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Green White Checkered TV. My name is Boomer Logan, and I have with me Matt Wagner here tonight. We are very excited to bring you the broadcast of the Area 51 Super Speedway Series here on Sunday nights in the NextGen cars. Going to have 75 laps at iRacing Super Speedway. I am so pumped that first of all, iRacing built this track not too long ago. In iRacing, obviously, it's a fictional speedway for those of you who used to be familiar with the old NASCAR Racing 2003 days. They had a fictional track called the Coca-Cola Super Speedway. Obviously, now it has been renamed iRacing and brought back to life, and we have it here on the sim to be able to race. Going to be quite an exciting battle here tonight. Again, we got 75 laps at this nearly 3-mile speedway, oval shaped, no tri-oval, just a 3-mile long oval with a lot of banking and a lot of speed. Matt, how excited are you about tonight for our first opportunity to see cars on track here at iRacing Super Speedway in the Area 51 series?
Well, this is our first time here with these cars here. I'm interested to see how well can everybody keep up with Team Bootnaka, if I would say here. Zach Workman is working with Gabe Butler and company, and let's see how well these guys have learned throughout the season. Now we got a couple of races under our belt. Let's see what they can show those guys.
Yeah, definitely always tough to beat those guys at Team Boonaka, especially Gabe Butler. He's definitely had a great start to the season so far, but there's definitely a lot of guys that are going to be hungry tonight for that first win here at iRacing Super Speedway. Definitely a great opportunity to be here. I know that was something that, along with Atlanta, now I call it Super Speedway, but Atlanta Motor Speedway, adding that to the schedule, this was also thrown in the mix, so it's not just the typical Daytona Talladegas every single week. Definitely a lot of fun, but we are getting into the grid now. Qualifying has concluded, so we're going to go ahead and pull up that grid. As you mentioned, Zachary working with those Team Bootnaka guys. He is going to grab the pole in that number 18 machine with Timmy Reed to his outside on the first row. Gabe Butler is going to be starting third right behind his teammate in that 88 car with Todd Merkel to his outside to complete row number 2. Bud Steele in the top 5 in that number 10 machine tonight with David Bone to his outside. We also have Eric Laurie and Derek Gilray on the 4th row with Richard Sanchez and Robert Jordan rounding out your top 10 for tonight. Starting in the 11th position will be Nick Monfretti in the number 29 machine with Tom Dixon to his outside. Pulling up the next page of the grid here, we have Michael Mayu in the 13th spot with Brad Slagle to his outside. Edwin Outlaw will start 15th tonight with James Moen to his outside on row number 8. Joshua Hanner in that number 2 machine with Seth Groover in the 02 machine on the 9th row. Gael Brooks, friend of the broadcast, is going to be running that number 71 machine, starting 19th with Chris Piscini to his outside in that number 1. And Gael's dad, Jim's going to be starting tonight in the last row of the field, and Brandon Briggs to his outside. Those last 6 drivers electing not to take a time, but still, not a super long, deep field tonight, but definitely a lot of cars. There's definitely going to be an opportunity to come back from those further back starting spots and try to make something happen, but it's definitely going to be a longer race here just because of the overall length of this track compared to probably Talladega. 75 laps, as always, we have here. Definitely take us through some of that strategy. It sounds like you might have some fuel numbers, Matt, and what it might look like for those stints for tonight.
Oh boy, I had to turn off my iRacing because I was doing a little bit of racing myself, a lot of road racing. I had to turn off my spotter. I do apologize for that. So, uh, man, I probably, if I had to guess, I'm not really good at fuel numbers here. 3 mile track, probably about 15 to about 17 laps would probably be my estimate of the time, depending how much these guys can save. I'm really curious of how far these guys can go, can stretch their fuel numbers.
You definitely know that if they're going to be able to, they're going to be trying it if it's going to be close on field. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as it goes. Definitely going to be interesting here. Just like that open book, that open notebook from Atlanta 2 weeks ago, you got an open book here at the iRacing Superspeedway as you see them taking down on the formation lap, gridding up. They're going to be rolling down. Looks like the pace car lights on the pace car are off, so we will have one to go. One will be green flag next time by. So definitely going to be a fresh reset. Everyone's got an open playing field, something new for the league as we've already mentioned, and should be a heck of a lot of fun tonight.
We'll see what happens here. I expect a lot of give and take here. This track is really, really high banked, and these guys expect those really high banked upcoming turns just not to overcompensate it and hold their car down toward the bottom of the racetrack. But otherwise, Boomer, I think you're ready to go green.
Looks like it, and we have the pace car ducking off
Oh my
onto pit
God!
road. Oh, we have a crash
We
actually
have we
before
have
the green
a little
flag.
trouble before the green flag there.
Looks like Joshua Hanner had an issue in the back of the field. We take the green still. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened before the green flag even. Oh man, looks like some contact made in the back. Oh, just got loose. Ooh, made contact with the 7 machine, it looks like, of James Moen. A lot of cars taking some damage early on, and Joshua Hanner losing the back end of that car, it looked like, and got a little bit loose. But we are green. We did take the green flag. The 18 of Zachary Workman is now leading the field with Gabe Butler right behind him in that Ford. Again, Gabe not typically running, not typical to run a Ford, but he's definitely doing it for the league, trying to get those wins that Ford knows is so much flatter than either the Toyota or the Chevy that they typically run at Team Bootnaka. So he's got that Ford for good pushing power and a good flat nose, and we'll have to see how that works out for them as we complete lap number 1 here at iRacing Superspeedway. Oh, a lot of chaos at the beginning here, Matt.
Well, I'm just kind of dumbfounded.
I really
I
don't know
I
how
didn't
that
expect
happened.
that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it just
Wow.
jumped out from him, it looked like. I guess it goes to
Wow.
show that anything can happen at any given moment, but other than that, it's pretty quiet. It looks like Michael Mayu is still on pit road. He might have repaired some damage. James Mullen is in the pits as well. Joshua Hanner is out on track, but he is definitely off pace, and it does look like Edwin Outlaw did not take to the grid tonight potentially, so he's currently scored 2 laps down. Yeah, definitely interesting. But we've still got 19 cars here in this, 18 cars here in this lead pack, and pretty much just going to be single file. Looks like for now, as people try to figure out what to make of this new track.
I think I think James is going to be okay. If James can latch onto the back of these cars, he should have no trouble at all keeping up with them because they're just a little bit spread out right now. If we catch a caution, he right now he is currently will be the lucky dog. He will get his lap back. So, not don't count out James just yet.
Well, it's good for sure. Definitely. Still a lot of time if you need it. Obviously, every caution we have, you will have a chance to have a lucky dog here. So definitely opportunity still to get back on the lead lap and get back in this race. But I don't know. I'm having a feeling that they're gonna be pretty conservative here, just from what we saw at Atlanta. We saw, we were green flag from start to finish, if I'm not mistaken, a couple weeks ago. So I would assume with a new track, that new setup sheet, new notebook, that it's going to be fairly calm for tonight.
Yeah, we'll see. Right now I see the father and son hanging out in the back, the 71 and the 51 of the Brooks. Just kind of being patient there, buying their time. Just something what I would do at the beginning of the race. It's no harm, no foul.
Yeah,
Take it easy.
they're still in the draft. Don't have to worry about too much. Obviously, just kind of biding their time and just hanging out. But Yeah, got a couple Fords back there in Jim and Gael. Got a couple Dodges it looks like in the field actually running some of those running some looks like Dodge front noses. So it's kind of cool to see. I believe we saw that on Joshua Hanner. Yeah, Joshua Hanner and looks like is it James Moen as well? Maybe not. Joshua Hanner for sure, but a couple guys with those Dodge colors. So got a little bit of a mix as far as manufacturers go. Obviously, we got Zachary Workman here working on that inside lane. Now we do actually have 2 lanes going, but Zachary's working on that Toyota with his teammate in the Ford again. Gabe running that Ford for the pushing power, the front flat nose of that Guinness machine. So definitely got a mix of Ford, Chevys, and Toyotas here at the front of the pack, but most of them there are our Team Bootnaka guys. We got Zachary Workman, Gabe Butler, and Eric Laurie first, second, and fourth right now as it sits. Teammates going to be working quite a bit together, and we do have, it looks like, the O2 of Seth Weaver working hard on that outside lane, trying to make something happen there in that Nintendo. Looks like he's got I don't know if it's
Yoshi.
Yoshi. Okay, I was gonna say I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if it's Yoshi or not on the front, but definitely a great looking paint scheme for the O2 of Seth Groover tonight. As I mean, honestly, just about every one of these cars looks great, just about every single week. So it's cool to see. It's honestly, would you have expected to see this outside lane working so well so far? I mean, it seems like they're actually able to form a little bit of a line out there, and they're starting to make some progress as now they're alongside the 071 of Eric Laurie on that inside lane.
Yeah, I see Team Extreme on the outside, 1, 2, 3, right behind Seth Gruber there, trying to make things happen there. We'll see what happens. See if James can get his lap back the hard way.
Yeah, so James here is actually in this lead pack right now. You see that number 7 machine with his teammates of the 052 and I think the 70, no, not the 71, the 411 of Tom Dixon there. So they're going to have some teammates at least to work with. Definitely going to help trying to get that lap back. Maybe try and do it the natural or maybe the natural way or however you want to see it. But he's going to definitely have to fight hard here.
Yes.
Yeah, if he can get ahead of these leaders, even though he is a lap down, he'd have an opportunity to get that lap back. As you see, his teammate of the 052 is really pushing the 02 really hard. They're making a lot of great progress,
Yes, they
almost
are.
even with that 18 car now.
The 052 is really giving him a big push down the straightaway here.
Definitely, as we see the 2 lanes, pretty much half the field on the inside lane, half the field on that outside lane right now. A couple stragglers in the back as we got a lap car jumping in and out there. It looks like, but maybe taken to the apron there. Definitely, it seems like the inside lane makes a lot of headway in the middle of the corner, and then as they get down the front straightaway or the back straightaway, that outside lane really gets momentum and is able to pull ahead. But they lost a little bit of momentum now. They're kind of back behind. Looks like they're about even with the 88 machine now at the end of the, no, sorry, but even with the 10 machine on that inside lane. So lost a little bit of ground, but you can kind of really see how much that inside lane surges as they get to the corners, just because it is such a tight arced but high banked corner here. I mean, definitely a pretty crazy track to do some racing at, but seems like it's been producing some good racing so far. Well, looks like the 02 gets a big push. He's going to get a little squirrely. He's actually going to just jump on a line here, get to the back. I don't know if that was a big push by the 052 that went wrong, or he's just saying, hey, I'm just going to let it calm down, and I'm going to join Gael and and his dad, Jim, and just hang out here in the back of the pack. But out of the pack so far for Seth, going to pick up the tail end of the draft, and Zachary Workman continuing to lead this race, has led every lap so far with his teammate of the 88 of Gabe Butler behind him. And yeah, pretty quiet so far. 9 laps in. Guessing, like we said earlier, it's probably about halfway through a fuel run. So we'll have to see where that number falls and how that pit strategy is going to work out tonight. So, Matt, I got to ask, did you ever play NASCAR Racing 2003 or any of the older games that would have featured back then the Coca-Cola Superspeedway that's now the iRacing Superspeedway? Oh, looks like we might have actually lost Matt, so he's got some technical difficulties, but no worries. We'll keep you here with the action. 10 laps, or on lap number 10, so 9 laps down, and field working down the back straightaway. You see Guile Brooks in that blue and white extra life machine trying to make something happen on that outside lane there. I don't know if he might have got caught up in some of that those incidents early on, has a little bit of damage, but we'll see. Definitely kind of just hanging on at the back of the pack and just kind of maybe trying to avoid the chaos. But so far, the 18 machine of Zachary Workman continues to just kind of hang on here. He's got clear view in front of him as you see him cross the stripe there, 10 laps down and working on lap number 11. See the whole field lined up behind him. Gabe Butler just behind him and pretty much the rest of the pack there. You can see how much of a big transition it is to the center of these corners and how much banking there really is. It's definitely a pretty big bump and a pretty big transition as they get to the straightaways, which are also very, very aggressively banked. But definitely one of the tracks that when it came out was kind of targeted or seemed to be pegged for more of the week 13 silly season type action, non-official races here in iRacing, just to have something fun, have some nostalgia for a track that used to exist in the virtual world back in, like I said, the NASCAR Racing 2003 days. But it's really cool to see that this track is back, and honestly love the fact that we get a chance to race here and have a good show so far. So definitely things can get pretty crazy here just with how crazy this track is. Obviously, again, it's just it's completely virtual. This track does not exist anywhere in real life. But we've had it in the sim now here in iRacing for a couple years after we had it back in the day in the NASCAR Racing 2003 days when Papyrus, the company that eventually became iRacing, had a chance to create this track back then. So looks like we got Matt back. Yeah.
Sorry about that. I had a little
No worries.
technical issue. That's what you get for renting a heater and running your iRacing sim right next to it, because it's cold in the house. I do apologize for that.
Yeah, no worries. Definitely a little cold everywhere. Obviously, here for you and I in Tennessee, not too bad, but a lot of rain lately, and it's not fun. It's more fun to watch virtual race cars on a beautiful, bright, sunny day, and when it's always 70 degrees in the sim, right, Matt?
I wish it was 70 degrees outside.
Me too, buddy. Yeah, we see, seems like the effort on the outside lane is kind of broken up a little bit. Well, we'll take you back there to it. Looks like Brad Slagle still is leading that line there. He's got his teammate, again, of James Moen in the 7 just behind him, but James Moen is 1 lap off the pace, so he's 1 lap behind everybody else. He's going to try and compete for that lucky dog, see if he can get that spot back when a caution were to come out. But there's his other teammate of the 411 of Tom Dixon behind him as well, so kind of cool to see some of those Team Extreme guys getting lined up, and even if the 7 is 1 lap down, he's able to still help his teammates out as they're still trying to make something happen on that outside lane. But looks like we have a little bit of a breakaway here. Zachary Workman, Gabe Butler, Bud Steele still lined up on the inside lane with Eric Laurie, Todd Merkel, and Richard Sanchez on that inside line, and they're starting to gap the field just by a little bit. It's not by much, but it is about a 0.3 of a second gap now back to the 74 of Robert Jordan and that 052 of Brad Slagle. See if these guys would be curious to know if they can actually get a chance to break away from the pack, but definitely a lot can happen. And
well, that just all changed now because Bud Steele ran the top line.
Yep, so Bud Steele ran that top line, gave those guys a chance to kind of catch back up a little bit there, as we do see a little bit separation between the 071 and the 3 of Todd Merkel still, but definitely can see it better in that wide shot. But the 18 and that 88 definitely are still locked nose to tail. Gabe trying to push his teammate as much as he can. If they can get a little bit of a breakaway, I think that would really bode well for them to try and finish this race with a win pretty easily. But so far, so good. Running strong at the front of this field. So when right as you were hopping off there with your issues,
I was kind of what happened to Seth Groover.
Yeah,
he was up there.
Yep, yeah. So he was being pushed in the outside lane by the 052, and not sure if he just caught a weird push from the 052 and kind of got swirly, but he jumped all the way out of line to the outside in the middle of the corner and just kind of settled on back to the back of the pack. Not sure if it was just a push that went kind of awry, or if he just
Yeah.
tried to back
So
out and saw some craziness,
mhm.
but he's starting to work his way back up a little bit. He just ran his
We got a
fastest
yellow.
race.
We got a
Oh,
caution.
caution! Looks like we've got a yellow flag. Not into, oh, we've got a car up in the wall. Let's see. Who is that back there? Let's see if we can get a view of that. This isn't what brought the caution out. But, oh, we see here the 33. Oh, making contact with the 02. I'm going to take that back just a little bit, see if we can rewind it here for a second, and then take you through some slow motion. See what we had happening to that 33 cars. Ooh, looks like Seth Groover got onto the flat here. We'll watch this back. Let's watch it from the 02. See if we can watch and see what happens from the roof of Seth Groover here. Pull that up in just a second here. All right, let's get some slow-mo action going here. So we see Seth looks like he's trying to turn down, trying to grab a spot underneath the 33, and man, he just kind of keeps going further and further down. Kind of, I don't know if he maybe misjudged it a little bit. And the 33 closed the door, and 02 tried to get back up on the track, and a little bit of contact made there, unfortunately, for that Skull Bandit machine. And it looks like Seth Groover is going to pay the price here in just a second here. He's going to get tagged. Boom, right there. Lots of contact. Looks like contact for the 85, and what is that? The 256 of Timmy Reed also getting caught up in the 29 of Nick Manfredi. So definitely unfortunate there for these five drivers actually. So definitely, yeah, it's tough when you go down on the apron, Matt. Do if you're the guy that stayed on the track, do you expect to give that spot back to the guy that went down on the apron, or do you expect to let him back up, or do you close the door and say, hey, no, you got out of line and you need to stay down there?
Well, I really think that kind of Seth kind of chose his line. Not very good in that situation. Perhaps he could have backed off a little bit, but he ran all the way down to the bottom of the track. I couldn't really tell if he had a huge amount of momentum, but I couldn't tell you.
We'll yeah, so we will have to see here, but definitely opportunity now for that yellow. Definitely benefits the 7 of James Moen. He's going to get back onto the lead lap as we see our leaders here coming down pit road. The 18 machine taking his service. Definitely a very long, very wide pit road here. As you can see, there's a huge gap between Zachary Workman and the 88 machine here as they get on pit road much ahead of everyone else. So definitely going to get a chance to try and see if those guys will get back out at the front of the field when it comes time. Definitely it's nice to have that number 1 pit stall for that 18 machine. As you see most of the field, right side's going up, and eventually left sides will be going on as well, I would assume, as everyone's probably taking 4 tires and fuel here. Actually, we got a couple guys taking 2. Yeah, we've got a couple guys. Richard Sanchez actually gets out first. He takes 2 tires. Looks like him and Tom Dixon take 2 right side tires, and they're gonna actually. Richard Sanchez is actually gonna lead the field off of pit road.
As we've seen in real life, these Cup cars, the tire wear is not that generally been very good. Maybe it could be setup related in real life, but I don't know. I would have gone with 4. That's just me.
Yeah, so we'll have to see here. We'll have to jump back to it, and drivers are now catching back up to the pace cars. A couple guys electing to come back down again, so Gabe Butler, Zachary Workman going to get a little bit more fuel in their machines, it looks like. But that's going to give the lead to the 510 of Richard Sanchez and Tom Dixon. It'll definitely be interesting. I know we saw tires. I mean, tires were a huge factor at Atlanta. Do you think that they're going to be nearly as much of a factor here at iRacing Superspeedway, where you don't have as much handling maybe as Atlanta, but maybe a little bit more handling than Daytona that's necessary?
Well, you think about how steep those corners are. When you turn that corner, it's and the higher speeds they're going. I really couldn't tell. I couldn't tell you about tire wear. But my guess, I'm guessing they'd probably be down in the 85 percentiles, if I had to guess.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But this guy right now here, the 510 of Richard Sanchez, is going to inherit the lead. And he's going to be, going to try his hand at first place, see what he can do here. Got an onboard shot with him right now as he's getting ready to take the green flag. And take a look back. It looks like the pace car does have its lights off, which means we will be going green next time by. So the 510 will have that chance to control the field and try and see what he can do to lead from out front. The 411 of Tom Dixon and okay, so they're not quite lined up, but the 052 of Brad Slagle is actually going to restart in fifth. But the 411 and the 052 got some teammates up there. We also got the 51 of Jim Brooks up there as well, and definitely making some progress. And looks like the 00 of Michael Mayu, another teammate of Team Extreme, up here towards the front right now. But we are going to be green and underway as the 510 has control of the restart. Green flag in the air here, and we are back underway working on lap number 19. See if we can take a second here to crank it up. These static TV cameras here give you such a sense of how steeply banked these corners really are here at iRacing Superspeedway. Really cool to see these guys doing battle at this track. Definitely, like you mentioned, Matt, there really is a lot of corner banking here. I would assume way more than what you'd see at Talladega or Daytona to be able to have such a tight arced corner and still be able to drive, full throttle all the way around the track. But definitely gonna see how tire wear takes into account. It looks like most guys took 4 tires. The only ones that didn't were Richard Sanchez, Tom Dixon, and Bud Steele. Derek Gilray back in 12th also took 2, and I think just about everyone else in the field took 4 tires. So it'd be interesting to keep an eye on those names, see if we have any issues with tire wear and if the handling starts to go out of those cars. Looks like we're trying to get some 3-wide action maybe, but definitely 2-wide as that 02 has found his way back to the front of that outside lane there.
Yeah, I'm watching another pack as kind of like, I guess, went off on its own. I see Gael Brooks, James Mahan, and Brandon Briggs, 3 cars. I'm guessing that kind of didn't latch on to the cars that were ahead of them. And it happens when you miss a restart in these cars. It's the arrow is so turbulent here.
Yeah, and I know there's definitely, it's a different kind of, it's a different car in general. There's, typically you wouldn't use an H pattern shifter because these cars in real life do not have those. So some guys in the sim, if they don't have an H pattern shifter, or if they don't have a sequential shifter like these cars actually are, then they might have to use like the paddles for shifting on the steering wheel. And I've known that sometimes you can shift properly, but sometimes it doesn't want to actually get into gear, and I've actually had it where you go to upshift and it actually for some reason downshifts on you. So definitely maybe some woes there for the 71 or the 53 or 63 of Brandon Biggs, but they got looks like Timmy Reed is actually, oh no, Timmy Reed's with the other pack. So Timmy Reed is about 4 seconds ahead. He's the last car in this front pack, 4 seconds ahead of Gael Brooks right now. You can see the gap there down the backstretch, but hopefully they can stay lined up here and have an opportunity to try and catch back up to the pack. So far at the front, after the restart, it's been the 510 of Richard Sanchez, Eric Laurie all over his back bumper, and Brad Slagle's had a really great night so far, just kind of hanging out in top 10 so far most of the night. Now he's on a podium, in the podium spot, but as we say that look here, now comes the 18 and the 88 machine, definitely getting that high line working really well. Seth Groover and that 02 also back there with them, and they're moving right to the front, showing everyone that, yes, you can actually make some really good headway here in this outside lane, as they got a ton of momentum heading into turn number 1, and they should be able to grab the lead, I would think, here by the end of this backstretch if they keep pushing like they are.
I'm concerned for Timmy Reed of losing the main drafter. Maybe he might catch a break here with this inside light stalling out. Yeah, he did catch a break there. Luckily, they kind of checked up and he was able to catch back up.
Yeah.
Very fortunate and good lucky for him.
Yeah, so down that back straightaway, the 18 and the 88 had enough power to get all the way around the 510, and they are actually back to the lead. 0-2 Seth Groover is going to jump back in line now, fifth in line behind the 510, the 071 as well. So that'll be your top five as they run right now. Slagle is demoted to the sixth position, and Michael Mayu is in the seventh position with Derek Gilray behind him in eighth. Bud Steele and Tom Dixon rounding out your top 10 so
Oh, a
far.
little bit of contact up front. Ooh, that was
Scary
really
moment.
close. A little bit of moment there between I can't see who that was. I think it was the 052 and the 02 headed off into turn number two there. They had a slight little contact.
Yeah, you can
Looks
see.
like they're all right there.
Yeah, see how much of a gap it's made. So definitely had to get off the gas probably for the 02, but the 052 and the 00 able to maintain their pace with this top group. About 6 cars now broken away. Definitely going to be a little bit of a gap now back to Seth Groover. These cars are so momentum driven in next gen cars, even more so than just any other stock car that NASCAR runs right now. So if you have an issue like that, it's really hard to recover from, isn't it, Matt?
Oh, it very is. Now look at this field. Now we have split up in two different groups here.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. Looked like that last time by, this second pack was a little bit faster by about a tenth of a second or so than Zachary Workman, Gabe Butler, and Richard Sanchez here in the front. So Seth Groover, Bud Steele, and Tom Dixon a little bit faster that last lap. So we'll have to wait and see if that, or no, excuse me, I take that back. They were actually slower by about a second. Excuse me, I'm reading that wrong. So so that's where you see that separation. Seth Groover is now about a second behind Michael Mayu in sixth place. You can see that big gap now that they have. They're definitely going to have their work cut out for them. As we see this time by, we should have a better idea of what the speed difference will be between these top six and these seventh on back. So yeah, it looks like
Yeah, I was
looks like there's
getting
almost
ready. Yep.
there's almost a half of a second difference. It looks like between Zachary Workman in first place and Seth Groover in seventh place that last lap by. So these guys are doing a lot of work on this inside lane in this front pack. A little bit of Team Budnaka and some Team Extreme guys here up front. They're definitely gapping the rest of the pack so far quite a bit. As looks like we got the two of Joshua Hanners trying to work in that Dodge Charger with his teammate of the one of Chris Piscini to try and make something happen to try and see if they can make it back to that front pack.
Yeah. Yeah. Those closed circuit television guys. They've been working slowly, methodically working their way through. They were about at least 10, 15 car lengths back, and they are working very well together.
The
and
two goes from
they,
the top to the bottom.
They need to get in front of each other. That's I really think if Josh Hanner and Chris can work up on that bottom line together, I really think they can get to the front. But now I see the 02 right behind the two car there. I know the group of boys, both of them, but one of them is absent. Seth is a really good pusher. Yeah, I should see no problem for them catching back up.
Yeah, we'll see as they're going to duck back down in here. The one is well behind after the two went from the top lane to the bottom lane, trying to get some momentum towards the front of this pack. Now being pushed by the 0-2 and unfortunately left the one out a little bit to dry. He's going to the one's now relegated back to 13th place, where Joshua Hanner is in 7th now as they run. But they're just going to kind of try and line up single file, it looks like, try and stay organized and see what they can do to catch this lead pack. But Zachary Workman, Gabe Butler, Richard Sanchez, Eric Laurie, Brad Slagle, and Michael Mayu, they are still 3 to 4 tenths of a second faster than the rest of this pack. So unless we see something crazy with pit cycles or maybe some yellows, it definitely seems like this front group has a much greater advantage over that pack in the back.
I think we got to take a look at the lap times now, Suze. They look pretty formed now. They got more cars in line right now.
Yeah, we'll see this time.
See of what the lap times. Let's see here.
So We'll see as they come across the stripe this time. Now there's about a 2-second gap between Michael Mayu in 6th place and Joshua Hanner in 7th place. So what times are you looking at there, Matt?
Oh wow, I'm looking at times right here. For Zach Workman, it's a 54.79. Joshua Hanner's time is a 55.179.
Wow.
So,
So four
oh wow,
tenths.
so that's about maybe 3/10 of a second slower. Uh, they're gonna have to keep pushing and don't give up.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a big advantage there is, like we mentioned, there's about a 2-second gap between the 00 car and the 2 machine. So we'll have to wait and see if that'll eventually even out, or if this front pack is gonna still be able to pull away. But definitely does not look well for the rest of the pack, as some of the Team Extreme and the Team Bunaka guys are definitely starting to pull away a little bit. But hey, we've got a fan of Timmy Reed here. Dwayne Reed
Hey,
is in the chat. Thanks for chiming in, Dwayne. Appreciate you watching, and maybe get some action time here for Timmy. We got I think we got a couple. I know we've got I think we got a cockpit
Timmy
cam.
is currently in 15th, but
Yeah.
he's in the second pack right there.
Yep. So we're riding along with Timmy here as he completes. Working on lap number 30 now. So we're probably within 5 to 10 laps of the next pit cycle here, as we see the
Yeah,
256 from inside the cockpit, steady hands on the wheel, and just kind of riding along and just hanging in line as some of the guys up in front of him are starting to make some moves on the outside. But yeah, definitely, other than our first caution, has been a fairly quiet race so far.
as you saw the O2 jump out. Like maybe he got a little warm, or maybe he didn't feel confident enough to push up toward the front.
Yeah, we'll see. So the 10 and the O2 actually are going to swap spots, and they've actually got a little bit of a gap now. Looks like Seth Groover's got about a half a second gap back to Tom Dixon there in the 411 Team Extreme car. So we'll see. I don't think that gap's going to be enough to stand. Maybe it will be as they're able to pull away a
Now you
little bit, but
see, you look how they're running. See how they're nose to tail right there. No space in between the third place car. That makes the car go fast. That third place car, you may not think it's important, but it is very important.
yeah, you see the O2 looks like he actually kind of jumped off just a little bit as the 10 and the 2 kind of broke away a little bit there. But yeah, I mean, it makes a huge difference. I mean, you can see, I mean, they're still running multiple tenths a lap faster. That is the
And
guys at the front of this
yeah,
pack.
they shaved about 2/10 off
Actually,
that lap there,
actually, I
Kyle.
take it. Yeah,
I'm not sorry, not Kyle.
yeah, you're good. Yeah, so actually, Joshua Hanner actually shaved off about 2/10 that lap to the pack, so they might be trying to figure something out here. They definitely had a good run between the 2 and the 10 when they were all lined up. I know it's definitely tough when you get 3 cars lined up like that. That O2, so where Seth Groover is right now, he really can't push the 10 a lot, because if he does, that can
Yeah,
sometimes get the 2 car in the front of that group
yeah,
really squirrely. But if you can get lined up nose to tail, these guys are going to definitely make some
yes.
headway and try and
Yeah,
get back.
yeah. See that?
Yeah, look at
It
that.
takes it's just incredible how that happens,
Yeah.
but it's the truth. That third car is really important.
Yeah, I see the O2 duck down just a little bit, maybe trying to grab a little bit of fresh air on the nose of that machine. These cars do get a little bit hot as you push behind another car, but we're seeing this time by another 2/10 or so from
Another
Joshua
2/10.
Hanner
Yep.
over the front of this pack, so they might have something here with this 2 and this 10 pushing this, the 2, the 10, and the O2 pushing this second pack. They might have a chance to make it back up, but we'll have to wait and see, because last time we pitted was on lap 16 under
Yeah.
yellow, so we're getting fairly close, probably about 18, 19 laps here now on this run of fuel. I'm going to have to wait and see what they're going to be doing as far as how long they can go, because it's going to be getting close to having to make some pit stops here, I would guess.
Um, I don't know how close in fuel they are. I couldn't tell you. I know it is 65% fuel.
Yeah, wish I knew as well, but apparently we didn't do our homework before the broadcast. But no worries, it's our
Ah,
first
you're
time here.
late. I got an excuse.
We're trying to figure it out just like these guys are. You know, it's our first time here, just like them. So definitely a lot to learn in these next gen cars. Obviously, a little bit of a different style of speedway racing here in the next gen car versus the older style Cup car or the previous generation, the Gen 6s. But it's been fun to watch so far. Obviously, had a couple great races. I think this is our fourth race of the season already here at iRacing Superspeedway. We will be back at Daytona next week, so definitely a lot of fun. And I still can't thank the admin team here at Area 51 enough for allowing us to watch this racing and getting to broadcast the races here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, or Atlanta Super Speedway as I call it now. And we got a spinner almost. Looks like the 411 trying to come down on pit road. Got a little squirrely. It looks like possibly here. I don't know if I don't know if he made any contact with anybody, but he definitely got a little bit loose, and unfortunately he's going to be way off the pace now. Yeah, so it looks like the 411, he's actually going to pick up, looks like Nick Manfredi potentially here, as these guys are going to have some drafting partners here, back here at least, so they're not completely alone, but they've got their work cut out. They're really far behind the pack, but after that craziness, we'll actually jump back up to the front here, see if we can wait and see when these leaders are going to pit. But the 18 of Zachary Workman still leading that first lane, that first pack, I should say, with his teammate Gabe Butler and Richard Sanchez, Eric Laurie. Those guys are all working together tonight under the Team Bootnaka banner. Definitely a great opportunity for them. They're about 5 seconds now ahead of the rest of the pack. We mentioned Eric Laurie, Brad Slagle having a great run still, and Michael Mayu just kind of hanging out here in this front pack. Joshua Hanner's still working really hard to try and get this group back up, but they must have had a pretty bad bobble because they were actually 2 seconds that lap slower than the leaders were, so must have had a bobble at the front of the pack. Could have been that bobble with the 411, but unfortunately couldn't go back to see it, so but hopefully they definitely got their work cut out for them, but hopefully they can make something happen to try and close this gap a little bit.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that Bud picked up something what Seth was trying to do.
He's blown up. Seth, he got too hot.
He's blown up.
Yeah.
Pushing too long.
Yep. Pushing too much, unfortunately.
Man.
So I think that's going to do it for the O2, because he already used his fast repair, I would assume, from that first wreck. Oh, man, that's heartbreaking. Seth is definitely one of the guys that works the hardest as far as pushing and trying to get other people to the front and trying to make stuff happen on the outside line. And that's definitely unfortunate. I think that's going to end his night here very early, about halfway through the race here. So, I think he's going to be just about done for the night, but we'll pick back up to the leaders. We have still Zachary Workman still hanging out here in that lead pack. That 18 and the 88 kind of got shuffled back. They took a little bit of extra fuel on that last pit cycle, that last yellow, and they came back down pit road twice to grab some fuel after taking 4 tires the first time. So definitely got a little bit more fuel in the tank, but they stormed right back to the front there after that caution at lap number 16 and have been able to make their way to the front and stay there. It looks like we got a pretty organized effort here for this whole second pack. Joshua Hanner, Bud Steele, Derek Gilray, Timmy Reed, Todd Merkel, Chris Bassini, and Robert Jordan all going to be coming down pit road this time. And it looks like we got others coming too. Nick Manfredi trying to get down to that pit commitment line. And see, it's really deep there as the 411 actually makes up a ton of ground there.
Two Mrs. Pit Stall.
Oh, the two Mr. Pit Stall. Oh, man. So Nick Manfredi, Gael Brooks, James Moen, Brandon Briggs, and Seth Groover is already on pit road. So those guys are all getting serviced right now. Looks like we saw that the two of Joshua Hanner is going to get back out with the rest of the second pack, as you see most of these guys taking back off here, trying to get back up to speed. So hopefully they can stay. It looks like the 1 and the 2 are going to be able to hook up again and get that teammates working side by side or back to back as they make their way down on the apron and back up onto the racing surfaces. This time Bioworks going to have Gabe Butler, Zachary Workman, Richard Sanchez, Eric Laurie, Brad Slagle, and Michael Mayu in. So that'll pretty much do it for all the pit stops here, and it tells us you can go about 20 laps or so on fuel before you have to come in. We'll see. We'll pick up on Bud Steele here. Actually, these guys are just going to be merging now back onto the backstretch. So the 10 machine of Bud Steele is the leader of this pack, this second pack. It looks like he's probably going to be swallowed up when I would assume by the time the 3, the 2, the 1, and the 85 here get back up to them, they'll have a little bit more steam than the 10 of Bud Steele does after he got a little bit too far ahead out. But this pack of 5 cars is probably going to be our second pack here, as we do see. So Zachary Workman now is coming out on the apron in turn number 1, so he is going to get back out first. Gabe Butler just behind him, Richard Sanchez, Brad Slagle, Eric Laurie. So there's a little bit of a gap to Brad Slagle and Eric Laurie here behind Zachary Workman, Gabe Butler, and Richard Sanchez. So we'll see. I would assume that Zachary Workman is going to continue to resume this lead, and they may have, by the time they get back up to speed, they may still have well, maybe not. They've actually got a lot of separation there between the 18 and the 88. That was not something I would have expected to see there, Matt.
Yeah, well, everybody makes mistakes, my friend. Even the best, they all make mistakes.
Yeah, so they've got about 6 seconds, 6/10 of a second between the 18 and the 88, so that's going to definitely hurt them as far as time goes. This may be an opportunity for the rest of this pack to actually catch up. So we'll jump back to Brad Slagle here. Brad Slagle and the 071 of Eric Laurie are coming with a huge head of steam this time, and they're slowly catching our leaders before they can get organized. You can see those times falling a ton. So Bud Steele is actually, he did get picked up by this second pack. This second pack may have enough momentum to try and get back up to these two, segmented groups up at the front here.
Yeah,
But
it's quite a bit of possibility.
yeah, we'll see. We'll have to see. So we'll keep an eye on it. Zachary Workman, the 88 of Gabe Butler, and the 510 of Richard Sanchez are all lined up again, just about back up to speed. The second group of Brad Slagle and Eric Laurie now are about 4 seconds behind the third place driver of Richard Sanchez. And then again, we go back another 3 seconds to Bud Steele now in the 6th position. So definitely a little bit of a mix-up as we try to look down the front stretch here. Not quite going to get a camera angle before we get to the corner, but there's definitely a pretty big gap here. So we'll actually right around the rear of, this is Richard Sanchez in 3rd place right now. There's definitely quite a bit of a big gap, as you can see just in the distance. There is the 052 of Brad Slagle and Eric Laurie. So if you look off the back of Eric Laurie's machine, there's another big gap back to that 6th place car of Bud Steele in the 10. So definitely going to be a bit of definitely a bit of a gap to have to make their way back up. But there's a 3-car pack, a 2-car pack, and it looks like about another 5-car pack from Bud Steele on to Chris Passini back in 10th. So definitely have to see how this will play out.
Yeah, I've been watching lap time, so I'm just curious. They shaved off about close to, let's see, about here. No, actually lost about 5/10 there. Wow, I was quietly unexpected here, but they get this pack here they're catching. They might pick up a second or two.
Yeah, so we got Chris Passini was in 10th place, the last guy in that technically that 3rd pack that we saw. Then we had the 0 of Michael Mayu. He's kind of all on an island by himself. Unfortunately, lost a little bit of the draft during that last pit cycle, as did the 256 of Timmy Reed. Then we go back to Robert Jordan in the 74, also by himself. And then Brandon Briggs and company have a little bit of a pack here that they should be able to try and at least catch up to maybe Robert Jordan, Timmy Reed, and Michael Mayu to try and swallow those guys back up and make something happen from this backpack here. But we've got Brandon Briggs in the 63, James Mullen, Jim Brooks, Gael Brooks, and Nick Manfredi here in this pack. And that pretty much does it for the back of the pack, as it looks like the 411 still out on track, but he's definitely he's about 21 seconds behind Nick Manfredi, and he's quite a bit, he's about 30 seconds off of the lead. So quite a bit of a gap for that 411 to try and get back up, being by himself, unfortunately. All right, so try to take you a little bit through the field there with that review. Definitely kind of pretty segmented still, but Zachary Workman continues to lead from the front, leading his teammate, the 88 of Gabe Butler, and Richard Sanchez here. And I mean, these guys pretty much have it made. I think they have to just make one or two more. It looks like probably two more pit stops, and just have. Actually, no, I think one more pit stop would do it for the rest of the race, and would just be pretty quiet for them to the end. Matt, don't you think?
Yeah. Anything can happen here. We got about. They got about a wow, close to a 9 second lead now. So we'll see. They're pretty well organized right now. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot easier when you get out this far ahead to kind of manage this race. Looks like they are going to pick up the 411 of Tom Dixon, who is a lap car. So he's going to go one lap down. I believe he'll be the only car one lap down, as looks like Seth Groover and David Bone have retired from the race already tonight. So Tom will be our only lap car currently running, and we'll see. He might actually have a chance here to latch onto this front pack here, unless he has some damage. But we definitely saw him get out of shape and lose a lot of momentum, and ended up losing the draft earlier. But he may be able to pick up this three-car pack. So again, we've got Zachary Workman, Gabe Butler, and Richard Sanchez here. They've got about an 8.5 second gap to the pack behind them, which is led by the 10 machine of Bud Steele, Joshua Hanner, Eric Laurie, Brad Slagle, Derek Gilray, Todd Merkel, and Chris Piscini, all in this group right here. So about 7 to 8 cars or so, 7 cars here. Looks like Michael Mayu is still kind of falling back a little bit, but he's probably going to be caught by this pack now being led, or still being led by Brandon Briggs, I should say, with pretty much the rest of the pack here. So these guys, it looks like they are somewhere around 30 seconds off of the pace. So you see there, yeah, as Mayu is, or Briggs is 29 seconds on the ticker there on the tower there, as you can see. So definitely a little bit of a hole, but hopefully they can at least stay organized in this group to, to stay here and manage this gap, and hope something like maybe a caution comes out for them to be able to make it back up to the front of the pack without causing the caution themselves.
I'm watching that time stricken now there, Boomer. We 2 laps ago was 9.1 seconds. Now it's 7.9.
Yeah. So the 10 and the 2 are still working together really well. Now it looks like the 2 is pushing the 10, whereas before I believe it was the 10 pushing the 2, and then the O2 of Seth Groover was behind them before he hand grenaded his engine due to overheating. But they're making some headway, starting to make a little bit of starting to cut a little bit of that gap up. Now they're only about 7.8
Yeah.
seconds off the leader. They're running about 4 to 5 tenths a second faster than the leader. So if they can stay organized and have a really great pit stop, especially if they can stay organized through that whole pit stop, coming down into pit road and getting off lined up nose to tail, they might have an opportunity to try and catch this pack. So it seems like this group of 7 cars is definitely a little more powerful than this group of 3, which we see now with the 411. So the 18 to 88, the 510 still leading this race, and that 411 is going to be that one car, the only car we have scored 1 lap down right now.
At that time by it was just almost about identical lap times there.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see. You definitely have to manage it. Obviously, we've seen already the O2 retire from overheating, so you really want to push as much as you possibly can, but you can't push so much that you get the car too hot. And obviously, there's really aren't a lot of openings. Obviously, these cars look like they're real life car counterparts. The Mustang, the Camry, and the Camaro, but they don't have nearly as much of the grill openings as you can see on a normal car. So they've only got a little bit of a grill screen in the middle of what looks like a giant grill to actually be able to duck out and get cool air into that intake and into that engine to cool it off. So definitely got to manage that quite a bit, as you see the 88 kind of peaking out high and the 510 peaking low, just to get some clean air from the front of the in front of them into those grills and cool those cars down.
Kind of brings back memories of the 2-car Tango back in what year was that? 2000 and
I want to say like
was that 11?
yeah, maybe 2011, 2012 time frame, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
interesting era for sure.
Yeah. It's no longer that ain't gonna exist anymore the way these cars are now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean it really just depends on what kind of style of racing. Back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, there really wasn't a ton of drafting. It was just whoever had the fastest car was pretty much ahead for the entire race and just had to manage that for most of the event. But obviously then kind of the progression of getting into more of the pack style of racing, obviously kind of like the early like maybe 2005 2006 era, and then getting into the two car tandem and the I think that was when or just before the Gen 6 car came out, and when the Gen 6 car came out in I believe 2013, they really started to go back to that pack style of racing, and we've kind of as far as super speedway goes, haven't left that since. So definitely a different style of racing, and there's a lot of different ways you kind of got to manage it. But for the most part here, just trying to hold on and trying to form a train and trying not to overheat, but trying to push as hard as you can so far. It's been a pretty quiet night other than our first caution.
Yeah, it's been pretty much a smooth ride for Zach Workman, Gabe Butler, and Richard Sanchez there. And tagged on is Tom Dixon, just kind of hoping for a yellow. Kind of doing a rain dance there.
Yeah, definitely hoping for a yellow to get his lap back, but we're in the car here with Zachary Workman, that number 18 machine. He's just got a pretty wheel, holding the pretty wheel, trying to not go too crazy. Obviously, he's got a great pusher of Gabe Butler behind him, just trying to do everything he can to keep that lead. They're definitely still the fastest cars out on the track. Let's pull up now Richard Sanchez. So these three broken up in front of the pack here are definitely quite a bit faster. They were looks like 0.3 of a second faster than everybody else on track that last lap. So they're still gaining on the cars behind them.
Yeah, I'm watching the difference between Gabe Butler and Josh Hanner. This the second car right behind him. I'm watching it as soon as they were into that corner. Josh kind of goes up the track, but you look at Gabe Butler, smooth as silk.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely you got to stay as much as you can locked onto that car there. As you see, there's a little bit of a gap between the 10 and the 2 as they enter the corner there. But when you look at the 88 machine of Gabe Butler, as soon as he enters the corner, he's right there as much as he can be on that 18 car, just trying to push as much as he possibly can. Definitely a lot of experience there for that 88 machine. Definitely a little bit of separation as they get into the corner, but as soon as they get out onto the backstretch, you'll see he's going to suck right up and just try to push as much as he possibly can.
Yeah, I can imagine how tough it is to hold that car down there
Yeah.
with these high bank turns with these
Oh yeah, I mean
next gen cars.
you can see as they come down in the corner here how much of a transition it is, and it's almost like a bump, and it's not a smooth bump. But
No, it's rough.
yeah, we'll see if we can grab that here. Yeah, so we could watch Zach Workman as he comes out of the corner here. See how much of a transition it is from the corner to the flat. I mean, it's as gradual as it can be, but you'll watch here as he goes off into turn number 1. You'll see how much the car really kind of settles in and pitches down. I mean, there's a huge elevation change from the top of the front stretch down into the corner there, as you can see. It's definitely it can reach out and grab you as you get around these corners just because it's so it's such an aggressive track being so big and with such narrow arced corners. So we're still working on 23 laps to go here.
Whoa! Got a little bit of look like a bad bump between the 2 and the 10.
Ooh, definitely.
And I got 3 wide there. That was a very close.
Yeah, so that's going to kill all the momentum that these guys had as far as getting closer to that front of the pack. Unfortunately, they'll still stay here in a pack, I would think. But that was definitely a big moment, it looks like, for the 2 and the 10. Unfortunately, it's definitely going to hurt their chances to get back up to the front of this pack. I was just going to take a chance to take a moment to say that they've kind of conglomerated with 3 packs here now. We've got Zachary Workman, Gabe Butler, and Richard Sanchez, along with the lap car, the 411 of Tom Dixon here, this front pack. Derek Gilray now takes the lead of this second pack with Joshua Hanner and his teammate Chris Piscini behind them. Eric Laurie, Brett Slagle, Todd Merkel, and Bud Steele now is in the back of this pack. And then another 20 seconds behind these guys is the double zero of Michael Mayu. So this, the slew of cars towards the back of the pack has really just kind of lined up and caught just about the rest of the field. The double zero, Michael Mayu, Nick Manfredi, Robert Jordan, Timmy Reed, James Mullen, Jim Brooks, Brandon Brooks, Gael Brooks as well, just kind of hanging out in this backpack about now 40 seconds off of the lead, unfortunately. So Zachary Workman in 18 and Gabe Butler in that 88 are probably just going to keep trying to push each other all the way to this finish here.
Yeah. I'm just curious here. I wondered if there's one with the car number 1 and car number 2. I just think they work so much better out in front when they're pushing something. Like, I know they got Derek Gilway in front of them, but I think this is going to work out if they stay just like this.
Yeah, at this point, they're going to have to make up at least a half of a second a lap for the rest of the race in order to get back to those top 3, which it's potentially doable, especially that last lap. They were about a second faster than, so Derek Gilray ran a 54.67. Zachary Workman ran a 55.18. So we'll see actually. So Zachary Workman just crossed the stripe at a 55.18. Derek Gilray this time by runs a 54.73.
Wow,
so
faster.
Yeah, there's 0.4 there a lap. That's definitely nothing to sneeze at. They've had their work cut out for them. If they can still pick up about a half a second a lap, they might actually have a chance to do it. And remember, we do have one pit stop still to go. So hopefully, if maybe the 2 and the 1 machine are able to continue to stay aligned and keep pushing and stay organized when they get off of pit road. They're going to have to be organized into pit road, on pit road, no mistakes, and then be organized to where they're nose to tail as they're getting off of pit road as well. So definitely not going to be an easy chore for these guys as they're going to try and make it work. But they're gaining so far on the leaders as we'll come back to the 18 and the 88 of Gabe Butler, just kind of setting sail, holding a pretty wheel. And I mean, you can see that's a huge distance. I mean, that's almost the whole front stretch, and on a track where the front stretch is, I think, over 1.5 miles long.
Yeah, that's insane. I'm looking back to see who have 10 seconds. That's like a half, close to about a straightaway here.
Yeah. So if you look off the back of the 411, who's in this front pack with our top 3, I mean, you can see it just looks like ants way back there to the 85 of Derek Gilray in 4th place. Definitely a lot of ground to cover here, but I mean, obviously a fictional circuit, as we've mentioned a few times here, but definitely providing some interesting racing so far. And I was going to ask you earlier before your mic cut out, Matt, but did you ever have a chance to race this track back in the NASCAR Racing 2003 days?
No, I have not. I didn't own the game because I got away from sim racing for a little while. Then I came back, and then just Papyrus sold to First, and then First became iRacing, and I came back, and lo and behold, I've been on the surface for 10 years, and I kind of wish I would drive the NR 2003 days. Kind of wished.
Yeah, it was definitely. I was still pretty young at that time, and for me, I really just kind of messed around with making a few paint schemes and here and there of cars that I thought were cool or some other stuff. But looks like we see here the 18 and the 88 are gonna make their way down the pit road. We did also have last time by Michael Mayu, Timmy Reed, Mike Manfredi, James Mullen, Robert Jordan, and Tom Dixon's now in with the lead pack. They all came in, but looks like Chris Passini, Derek Gilray, this whole second pack is actually going to be coming in this time. So enough of a gap to where they saw the leaders pitting that they could answer pretty easily and try to stay on the same strategy. But looks like the only people still out on track are going to be Jim Brooks, Brandon Briggs, and Guy L. Brooks. So these guys, obviously, they had about 40 seconds behind the leaders to go. So they're just trying to hold on as long as they possibly can and make something happen out of not much tonight. So definitely going to be a tall task for them to catch up to the pack as they're actually going to come down this time by. So Gabe Butler is going to actually get off a pit road first ahead of the 18 of Zachary Workman.
We have a little bit of issue with the 510 machine.
Oh, yeah, the 510 machine's actually back with this second group. So the 2 and the 1 are actually trying to bypass the 411. Look at how much they're actually able
Look how
to.
much gain.
Wow,
Look at the gap now.
that
We
was
got a race. We
impressive.
got a race, boys.
Wow, we might actually have something here. The one of Chris Passini here and the two of Joshua Hanner had an excellent pit strategy, and I mean they made a bunch of headway as the 510 lost a bunch of ground. So Gabe Butler and Zach Workman are going to be able to get back to each other here, but it's just going to be the two of them. They're now about only 3 seconds ahead of teammates Joshua Hanner and Chris Passini. So we do have some tandem racing that we're going to get to watch here. Man, this is very exciting. Looks like Matt dropped out just again. Or no, Matt's actually jumping down, talking to Chris Passini and Joshua Hanner right now, just to see what you get from those boys at closed circuit. Matt,
Yo.
I saw you jump down to them. Did you get a chance to chat with them at all?
Yes, I did.
So what's going on down there?
Oh, they're really truly excited. I say they're kind of waiting on the 510 machine. You know that like I said, there, Boomer. That third car in line is very important, and it's really going to propel them to catch them.
Yeah. So the 88 and the 18 are by themselves. It's just the two of them. They're going to have to push pretty hard, or they're just going to have to accept the fact that the 2 and the 1 are coming with quite a bit of steam.
What?
We're going to have to see what it looks like this time by. We'll see what the timing and scoring shows for this 3-car group versus Gabe Butler and Zachary Workman as they cross the stripe here. Should get an updated lap time. So this time by, Zach Workman and Gabe Butler ran 56.82 and a 56.76, but Joshua Hanner ran a 55.71, Chris Passini ran a 55.68, and Richard Sanchez ran a 55.36. So they're catching them by about a second a lap right now. As you see, now they're only about 1.3 seconds back.
They're there.
They're
just
there.
Just to update you on the was that the Derek Gilray? He got caught speeding on pit road.
Okay.
And unfortunately for him, he's been caught one lap down there.
Okay. Ooh, a little bit of a wiggle from the 2 machine there that you saw as he got into the corner there. Got a little bit loose, but they're going to catch up to this pack here. It looks like his 85 is just going to kind of duck out of the way, but it's going to be, looks like the 2 lost a lot of momentum there, unfortunately, as he got a wiggle there, but it's going to be 2 teams now are going to have that opportunity to go for the win. Gabe Butler and Zachary Workman working with Team Bootnaka, and Richard Sanchez, I believe, working with them as well. So these guys are going to try and see what they can do to hold off Joshua Hanner and Chris Passini. What a move for these guys. They were leading, like we mentioned, that second pack that was about 8 or 10 seconds off the lead, I believe, and just from a flawless execution of a pit stop and maybe a little bit of a lack of execution on Rick Sanchez, they were able to catch up quite a bit. Obviously not a huge harm or foul for Richard, because he's now back up to that 3rd place with his other 2 teammates, but obviously they caught the 2 and the 1 were able to catch up here as well. So now we'll watch in this pack, like you mentioned, 85 at Derek Gilray had a 40-second stop and hold for speeding on pit road, so he's going to be the back of this pack, but I'm assuming he's just going to kind of ride it out and hope for a caution to get his lap back, but just let these leaders do what they need to do to battle it out for this win. We're probably going to take most of the action towards the end of this race to catch up with this group of 5 here, but we're going to take a chance to update you on this second pack now being led by Todd Merkel. These guys are about 9 seconds off of Chris Passini in 5th place. So that's Todd in 6th. Bud Steele in 7th. We have Eric Laurie in 8th, and they do also have the 4:11 of Tom Dixon, who still is 1 lap down. Another 12 seconds behind them, you got Brad Slagle, unfortunately caught by himself. Jim Brooks is also leading a pack of cars, which include Timmy Reed, Nick Manfredi, Michael Mayu, James Moen, Robert Jordan, and Gael Brooks. So this is really probably the 2nd group, or 3rd group, I should say, that we have in this pack. So it's going to be pretty segmented here to the finish. And unfortunately, I think we're just going to stick with our top 5 and see what we can watch them do. Is for the most part, the 88, the 18, and the 510 teammates are just kind of riding around that inside lane and trying to see if they can push as hard as they can. But I know the 2 and the 1 of Joshua Hanner and Chris Passini are absolutely going to be trying to make a move and see what they can do to get their cars up to the front of this pack.
yeah, unfortunately for those Jim Brooks, Reed, Manfredi, and company, they're gonna need a caution to at least have a chance at this win here tonight. But
Yeah.
you never know. You got a handful of laps to go, and you never know.
Yeah, definitely still a lot of time left, 12 laps to go. I would think that, everyone should be finished with pit stops, even if we did have a couple of yellows, but we'll have to wait and see. Definitely a pretty big gap here now. Pretty much without anything else happening, it's going to be one of these 5 drivers in this lead pack that are going to be winning this race. But Gabe Butler was able to get out ahead of Zach Workman on this pit cycle. So even though they're teammates, because Gabe Butler got out first, he's going to be the one that they're going to push. That's kind of been their motto at Team Butnaka. Whoever gets out front, they're just going to push. They never really bother with getting someone else ahead of the other person. Obviously, their goal right now is to just get as many of their teammates as they possibly can into good positions, into good finishes, to try and make the playoffs at the end of this season. I know it's still early to think about that, but we're halfway
Oh,
through.
I
After
thought
tonight,
the
we're
move was
halfway
about to be
through.
made.
Yeah, we're about halfway through with the regular season. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, so you see what you see back there. You see the 2 and the 1 trying to make a move, trying to make something happen back there.
I thought they were looking starting to peak right inside the 510. Maybe just kind of side draft him. That's probably gonna be it if they want to catch him.
Yeah, I think. There's still 10 to go. You would think that they'd probably want to start trying to see what they can do as far as making something happen, just to see if it's possible to, make a move. Obviously, you can't
Um,
really try a bunch if you're just kind of back there. What's up?
I really, really think this lap traffic may have a factor toward the end of this race. There,
Yes, we'll see. So Gael Brooks off the pacer. He's actually going to go a lap down. He's on the outside a little bit slow. Unfortunately, he probably will pick up this. Well, probably slow because he just doesn't have draft. But actually, no, he's got a little bit of damage there for Gael. Unfortunately, looks
oh,
like Gael might have actually hit the wall a little bit there. Try and see. I don't know if I've got a good camera angle to get you that view, but he's definitely got a little bit of damage on the front of that car, unfortunately. But yeah. So unfortunately, there will definitely be a little bit of, I think that was really the only lap traffic that we'll probably see for a little while. Looks like for the most part, off the front of Gabe Butler, it's pretty clear to the end. With 9 laps to go, I don't think they're going to catch those guys ahead of him.
interesting line here.
Yeah, we're right along
What is going on here?
with the leaders, and they're trying to run around the outside, which is definitely a longer way around the track,
Change.
a slower
Yeah,
way. Huh. I wonder what they're doing.
never know, man.
They've got something figured out, it looks like, or who knows, maybe this is just an opportunity to try and keep Joshua Hanner and Chris Passini from passing him. I'm not really sure. Or maybe they're trying to slow down so they don't catch the lap traffic ahead of them. I'm not sure, honestly. We'll have to ask him if we get a
It
chance
could
to
be
interview
that
him.
Pied Piper at Daytona that Dale Jr. used to run here.
Yeah, definitely that 88 synonymous with Superspeedway racing in the real world as well. So, yeah, Gabe is definitely Gabe has shown quite a bit already this season that he's got got some very extraordinary abilities in these cars to do plate racing, and it's not really a surprise that Team Butnaka has a lot of opportunities to put themselves in position to win races. Obviously, running really strong here tonight with the 3 cars of Gabe Butler, Zachary Workman, and Richard Sanchez. I mean, even Eric Lowry's still up in the top 10, another teammate of theirs. Also got a great run going by Joshua Hanner and Chris Passini here from closed circuit. I mean, it's really cool to see that these guys are hanging there right with them, and honestly dug out of quite a big hole to be able to be in this position. So I'm sure those guys are thrilled just to be in the shot and have a chance to maybe do something here with 7 laps to go. So yes, we will see, but it looks like
We got a little bit of bump. We got a crash.
Big crash.
The leaders.
Oh my
The leaders
gosh.
have crashed.
Wow.
And we're still green.
We're still green. That didn't even register as a yellow for me. I don't know if I can actually go back and watch that.
That was a push gone wrong.
Wow. I'm just going to rewind this here just a little bit here from Gabe Butler, but man, it looks like he got a little squirrely after he got a push. This is going to change absolutely everything here.
Yes, it is.
Okay, quarter speed, the 18's kind of drifting up just to get a little bit of air on the nose of that car. Comes back down. Looks like he's going to overshoot, going to come on the inside, and man, he gives a push to his teammate at really a tough part of the corner. The 88 really has
Wow,
no
I'm
opportunities,
surprised.
but he gets
Look at this.
really
Look
loose.
at this.
Yeah, the 18 gets loose here. We're going to jump back live here and see what we're looking at, but you see the contact there for the 88, the 510, and the 18. Ooh, the 18 had really hard contact with that outside wall, but the 1 and the 2 looks like they were able to kind of keep it rolling here. Jumping back live now, we have Richard Sanchez. Let's see.
Yeah, he gave up the bottom. I just don't understand why they gave the closed circuit guys gave up the bottom, and Richard Sanchez just drove on right past him. But look down, Boomer. Look at that second pack.
Yeah, so that changes a lot. There's definitely a bunch of damage here, you'd think, for the 510 and the 88. The 1 and the 2, I think, fared pretty well, and then maybe sliding their tires, but Todd Merkel now is only 3.5 seconds back, and they're over 2 seconds a lap faster than their leaders are with 5 laps to go. So, wow, like we said, unless something changes, it was going to be a pretty uneventful finish here, but Todd Merkel now is chopping at the bit. This pack here is trying to see what they can do to get back up to the front here. They've got 5 laps and 3 seconds to make up, but they've got a lot more speed. We'll see this time by as they come back around. Richard Sanchez is going to be in the lead as you see that second pack there. Now finally in the camera shot for the first time in a while tonight. We'll see what kind of a lap time Richard Sanchez runs here as he crosses the stripe. He runs a 55.75. Gabe Butler runs a 55.74, but Todd Merkel runs a 55.22. So half a second faster as you see now the gap from Todd Merkel to the leaders is less than 2.8 seconds now. And there's only 4 laps to go. This is going to be really tight here to actually make something
yes,
happen.
It is.
This just ramped up exponentially here tonight.
Yes, it has. It just one. Remember what we talked about earlier, Boomer, about the nose, the nose. That pointy Toyota nose, I think, just pushed Gabe the wrong way, and it pretty much cost dearly.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looked like the. Was it the, it's the 18 now. So the 18 had a ton of damage. The 18 is actually down on pit road. He is out of this race, unfortunately. Just kind of a push gone bad to his teammate of the 88. And now it looks like there's going to be a big chance for this second pack to try and catch them.
Oh, man.
I'm really surprised, unless the 1 and the 2 have more damage, I'm really surprised that they haven't tried to get back around the 510 and the 88 because they're definitely a little bit slower with the damage that they have over a second less lap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it looked like Derek was going to stick with him, and they worked really well together during the first part of that race. But look here, Boomer, we got a race on our hands. Yeah, look, Todd Merkel is itching ever so closer.
Yeah, there he is. He's just about caught him. He's got their draft now at this point, and you can see the closing speed is going to be quite spectacular. The 3 and the 10 are probably just going to be able to sail right around the outside here.
Oh, wow. Here they come.
Here they are. They've got a lot of speed. 3 machine followed by the 10 and the 411. The 411 is actually still a lap car, so that third car in the outside lane is 1 lap down. The 071 of Eric Laurie, his teammates are still currently leading, but with 2 laps to go, it looks like the 3 and the 10 are going to have enough momentum to get back to the front of this pack and see what they can do here. Wow.
What a strange return of events here.
Man, I would have never guessed this. This is definitely...
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah. I mean, just one push gone bad from the 18, unfortunately getting too low on the 88 in the corner, and looks like the 3 and the 10 are pushing the heck out of each other. I don't know if the 3 or the 10's just trying to get around him, or the 3's just trying to block, but the 3's going to try and get down here and get in front of that 510. That's going to be potentially a race-winning move there. The 3 machine jumping down. He's going to try and block the outside lane, but there's going to be a run coming from the 510. Looks like the 510's actually going to get back to the inside here. 1 lap to go. Todd Merkel takes the white flag. He's got the 10 of Bud Steele pushing to his outside. The 1 and the 2 are going to jump back to the outside. 071's going to pick up his teammate of the 88 on the inside lane, and they're They're just going to try to push like crazy to try and see what they can do. The 3 is still trying to hold the 10 at bay. He's going to jump down in front of the 5-10 now, see what he can do to try and win this race. But as of right now, it's Todd Merkel's shot, but there's 1.5 miles to go here at iRacing Superspeedway, and anything can happen. Ooh, a little bit of a push. 3 throws the block. 5-10 gets him a little bit sideways here. Yeah, you got to protect that bottom. You can't just let him by. The 3 is going to have quite a bit of momentum here. See if he's going to get a chance to block the 10 on that outside lane. I don't think that they're going to have a chance to get to him. Oh, they get hooked.
Spin.
The 10
it looks like going to the line.
The 10's going to get to the outside there. The 10 is actually going to get to Bud Steele's going to get that race win. Wow, the 3 doesn't throw the block in time. The 10 gets around him on the outside. Bud Steele has won this race by 0.07 of a second over Todd Merkel and Chris Passini. What a finish.
Wow. I wonder if those Dodge boys have got damage. I wonder if they had damage. It makes me ever so wonder if Gabe and the 410 actually had damage, and that's why they caught so easily.
Yeah, I know that we saw the 88 and the 18 made a ton of contact with the outside wall, and he ended his night. But I know that the 88 and who was it? Richard Sanchez, they had a bunch of damage there, unfortunately, because they were not able to lead that pack as efficiently. But the 1 and the 2 of Chris Passini and Joshua Hannard also didn't seem like they had a ton of momentum as well, so they might have had a little bit of damage from that incident that didn't cause a yellow, but that second pack was able to catch up there. Todd Merkel able to hold on to second place after leading the white flag lap, but Bud Steele making the move on the outside with the momentum. You're going to see him burn it down on the front stretch here as he's going to take home a victory tonight in that number 10 machine. Wow, what a finish, Matt. What a finish.
That was nuts.
Oh, man.
That was crazy.
Yeah, go ahead.
I heard him in the chat. He said, don't ever give up.
Man.
That was just...
You would know better than me. Is this Bud's first win here at Area 51?
No.
Okay, my bad. First in a little while, I would assume, but
yes.
Yeah, definitely. Look at that burnout. Man, he is excited. What a battle. That was insane to hang on, never give up. What an attitude, mentality. He's gonna burn it down on the front stretch here, but man, we've got a couple interviews to get to here. Starting with, we'll be interviewing our podium here. We'll get to the number 10 of Bud Steele here in a minute, so we'll get back to him. But we've got Chris Passini here up in the broadcast booth. The number 1 machine, the Dodge machine, closed circuit racing. You guys had a heck of a battle getting back from that second pack, making up over, I think, 10 seconds to make your way up into the battle for the win there towards the end. Take us through how much execution you guys were able to nail on that last pit stop to get you guys in position to do something here at the end.
Honestly, I don't know. I know we sent it in pretty hard to try to make up whatever time we could, but to make up a 10-second gap like that, did they take 4 tires? Because we couldn't even tell when we came out. We saw we were like 2 seconds behind, so we're like,
yeah,
what the hell just happened?
I think, there was a bit of a miscue on their part when they came into pit road, and I think they took 4 tires as well.
Yeah,
they lost a whole bunch of time.
Yeah, so Gabe Butler, his last stop was 13:13, yours was 9:13, so there was half of that lap, but you guys still made up over 6 seconds to get back to that.
Yeah, we figured we're just going to try to send it as hard as we can in the pit road and just get whatever we can on the apron. I wasn't expecting to be as loose as I was on that last pit exit, but we managed to keep it together.
So I got a question for you, Chris. What were your thoughts when you saw the 18 and the 88 have a little miscommunication with pushing there?
Well, the butthole puckered up a tiny bit. But once they lifted, I lifted to get out of the way, and I saw everybody fall back. So I lifted a bit to kind of get back to Hannah so we could stay together. and we all grouped back up, and they took it low on us because I I guess they wanted to keep the
Yeah.
front spot, so we
See,
let them take it. So we're like, fine, we'll try to save it for a big run at the very end. So
yeah, I was wondering
and
about that because you you guys were down low and you guys just let them go on the bottom, and I was just like really confused there.
when they came back to us and they went low on Josh, I saw it in my mirror. I was like, okay, if they want to do that, that's perfectly fine. Take it. I don't want to be in a lead on the last lap. But I had no idea that second pack was closing on us with the lap cars until they got there. I was like, oh, that just changes everything. So me and Josh were on the radio to each other. We're like, what do we do? What do we do?
Yeah, I mean that was an absolute battle. You guys, I mean that was just if it stayed green, it would have been. Oh, obviously it did stay green, but if it would have stayed green and there were no other issues, I mean you would have had a chance to be the only two to be up there with those Team Bunaka guys. But that incident that we saw looked like the 18 kind of had a bad push to the 88. And did you and your teammate Josh get a little bit of damage from that? Because it looked like when they got back going, the 510 and the 88 had damage, but you guys weren't able to kind of pull out and around them. I assume you guys may have had a little bit of damage from that incident as well.
I got a 0x, I think, when Josh got like he hit my bumper, but I don't think I hit them. So I think we ended up okay.
Okay.
We really weren't focused on the damage at that point. We were just hoping to still go forward.
Yeah, definitely. Wow, that was crazy. I mean, we Matt and I are just sitting here like, yeah, it's been pretty quiet, not a lot of action tonight, and unless a caution happens, I don't think much is going to happen. And then, I mean, we had a ton of action without a single yellow happening, just with you guys and your, I mean, flawless pit strategy on that final stop. Yeah, definitely an incredible effort for you guys tonight.
Yeah, that was fun. I can't wait to do it again. As much as I hate this track, this is probably the worst purchase I ever made on iRacing, but this was probably one of the more fun races I had.
Yeah, definitely. I've been on the broadcast. I've been talking about my nostalgia for getting to race this back in the NASCAR Racing 2003 days. So for me, I was thrilled when they brought it back. Obviously, you're known for quite a bit of chaos, and I mean, we saw just about every bit of that tonight. But yeah, like I said, great execution from you and Josh tonight at closed circuit racing. I mean, you guys, you nailed as much as you can, and obviously coming home with two top five finishes. Obviously, talking to you here for this third place finish tonight. Want to give you the chance to give any thanks and shout outs for that podium placing.
Oh, just a shout out for Josh for sticking with me and working with Bud, everybody in the second pack that kind of kept us together. So other than that, I'll leave you to it.
All right, good deal. Well, Chris, congratulations. Definitely a lot of excitement and a hard-earned top five for you and your teammates. So definitely something to celebrate, and congratulations again.
All right, thanks.
All
Hey, man.
right, that was the number one of Chris Piscini. Got a couple
Yeah,
more interviews to do here. What's up, Matt? What you got?
I cannot find Todd Merkel.
Oh,
Todd
man.
Merkel, if you are watching the broadcast, please come on back. We want to hear from you. But unfortunately, we can wait on him a little bit, but
Yeah.
we can interview our race winner. How about that?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's bring up the 10 machine of Bud Steele into the broadcast booth. So, it sounded like we heard you say over the radio in iRacing, you said never give up, Bud. And you did just that tonight. You never gave up. How does it feel to be back in victory lane here at Area 51?
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I was trying to just stay. I was going to stay behind Todd all the way to the end there, and we got broke up again a little bit. And I kept telling him, jump, get back up in front of me, and keep running that outside. Um, I'm glad he made it to second. I guess he got so excited about the podium that he forgot all about interviewing. So hope you all get to talk to him sometime. But yeah, pretty amazing race, and yeah, a little bit of luck thrown in there. I guess up front, you know, a little trouble there somewhere. I don't know what happened, but it let us, stay in line, and we caught them, and just in the nick of time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, very fortunate for you to get that run there. obviously we saw after the contact between the 18 and the 88, you guys were catching them pretty quick. I mean, did you guys expect to be in that position to make that move at the end when you saw how fast you were closing to the leaders?
Oh yeah, Todd and I talked, and when we got to him, when we had the big run, we were going to go high if high was available, and I'm a little surprised that they weren't up in the high line, but it worked out. Yeah, that was the plan.
Definitely a good plan indeed, and maybe a little bit of some fortune there to get back to the front of the pack. But you guys are kind of in the middle there in that middle pack for most of the race. I mean, you were working pretty well. It seemed like with the two machine of Joshua Hanner for quite a bit as you guys were kind of leading that second pack. Take us through some of that through the midpoint of the race and how that was able to kind of keep you in the running.
Well, yeah, we were running pretty good there. When we first got hooked up, I think we maybe knocked about 2 seconds off, and then we got too wide there for I think just a lap and a half, and it put us back the 2 seconds that we gained, and then we just kind of maintained, got back to within 10 seconds, and pretty much stayed there until. I don't know who caught the apron, but we got a little messed up there and had to regroup. And that's when I got behind Todd, and we made some time.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I mean, like you said, don't give up. You guys were able to continue to battle back, and obviously some fortune of the leaders making some mistakes there, but you and Todd were able to push. Were you expecting Todd to try and throw a block there towards the end of the race, or were you kind of expecting him to give you that opportunity once you had it there?
No, I mean, Todd and I, we were running as teammates tonight. So, I mean, I was just going to stay behind him and if get him the win. But the way that it worked out, we just got divided because he went to the bottom. I tried to get him to come back up, but there was too much going on at that point. So
he was trying to kind of draft with you and trying to block the 510 as well. It looked like so. Yeah.
I'm not sure if Mr. Sanchez and we rubbed. I don't know exactly how that came about there, but we rubbed, and I went on up to the wall and just stayed up there on the wall to the finish line.
Yeah, definitely paid off quite a bit. Was definitely exciting to see you guys battle back. I mean, that's definitely a story to tell for quite some time now that you won the first Area 51 race ever at iRacing Superspeedway here in the NextGen series.
Oh yeah, I personally this is probably one of my favorite tracks. So they ought to build this thing. So
definitely polarizing because Chris Passini in our first interview said the exact opposite. So, but
yeah, you just got to run it a lot and get the feel of it because I mean you just can't panic at this track because it's happened before where I know at one time a year or so ago. Probably started 14th and finished, second or third, with, like 4 laps to go on a restart. So it's you just got to, manage your runs. If Kevin Freese was here, that's what he'd be saying. You just got to manage your run and take it where you can get it and go with it.
Definitely, and you guys took advantage of every opportunity you could. Obviously, you and Todd getting a 1-2 finish tonight is pretty incredible. We have to see if you can get a chance to message him, try and get him back in the Discord so we can give him an interview before we sign off here. But,
we like to talk to him.
Yeah.
yeah. I'll see if.
Okay,
cool. I think Gael was trying to track him down, but
right,
I'm not sure if he was successful. But man. Appreciate y'all doing this broadcast and everybody in Area 51. Just best leagues around.
Yeah, there you go. Any other thanks and shout outs you want to give? Or it sounds like you already took the opportunity, but any other thanks and shout outs for that first place finish tonight?
Well, yeah, thanks, Josh. We worked together there, and I'm not sure. Yeah, he's already checked out here. I was going to talk to him, but Joshua, Todd, everybody we teamed up with tonight, everybody hung in there, and got to thank my wife, and just this is a great group of guys to run with, and want to try to see if do it again, get number 2.
Good deal. Well, congratulations again, Bud. Excited to see you back in victory lane, and great team effort for you guys tonight to never give up and, and get the win at the end. So, congrats one last time.
Thanks a lot, Boomer. Thanks, Matt.
Yep.
All right, so we'll wait around just a little bit here. We'll run through the final order and see if we can get Todd Merkel to jump back on. But obviously, want to give him an interview if we get a chance for. I mean, definitely for sticking with his teammate Bud and trying to get that win. Obviously, he had a lot of work to do to try and hold off the 510 of Richard Sanchez in the 88. So he was doing a lot of work on that last lap. He takes the white flag as first place and comes home second. But if you had to do that to come home second to a teammate, obviously that's always better than anything else if you can't get it yourself. So definitely a great effort for those guys tonight.
Yeah. What a race that kind of got like it looked like Gabe was going to smooth sail to the win. It just a miscommunication at the end. The 4 tires, I guess, was the bad call, and those closed circuit boys closed right on in, and one mistake. Wow,
Yeah.
everything just like changed dramatically.
Yes,
I'm surprised the caution didn't come out. I'm
yeah.
just really really shocked.
Yeah, there was a lot of contact there at the end for a yellow to not come out. Not thrown by iRacing at least, but yeah, I mean, so that was something that we didn't really catch on in the broadcast, but Chris was right. He mentioned so they took 2 tires and fuel their last pit stop. They had a 9.13 second and 9.4 second for the 1 and the 2, and then Gabe Butler and the rest of his teammates were over 13 seconds. So they definitely
Yeah,
took
4
tires.
tires.
Yeah, Richard
Yeah,
Sanchez only took fuel, it looked like, on his last stop, but it looked like Zachary Workman and Gabe both took tires on their last pit stops. So definitely, I guess it's surprising because we thought that tires were going to be a lot more than they really ended up being tonight, huh,
being
Matt?
worse. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I really thought um the tires would wear quite considerably, but
yeah.
turn comes, turn out. Uh, we learned from the one of the closed circuit guys. Tires weren't a factor.
Interesting. So obviously at Daytona you get a little bit squirrely when at the end of a tire run or end of a fuel run with old tires. You can take 2. You don't have to take any really. Obviously at Atlanta we saw the exact opposite. But now we've got the first page of notes from iRacing Superspeedway here at Area 51, and apparently tires don't matter here nearly as much. Obviously, a lot of banking, a lot of corner speed for this unique shaped 3-mile oval, but yeah, tires not making as much of a difference, and Bud Steele and Todd Merkel able to take advantage after a little bit of the leaders had some troubles. But I mean, we saw some, the 2 great storylines there in the last 10 laps of the 1 and the 2 of Chris and Josh getting back to the leaders by themselves under green. And then Bud Steele and Todd Merkel able to capitalize on the mistake maybe from the 18 of Zachary Workman getting into his teammate there and causing a little bit of chaos. So definitely a couple really great storylines, and I was very excited to be here to see this first race at iRacing Superspeedway, and it absolutely did not disappoint.
No, it did not. It was just I really thought the racing would have been a little more closer. Midway through the race, and it turns out if one little slip up with these cars, one little slip up, one little moment off the gas, one moment of checking up will break up this pack. That's how sensitive these cars are.
Yeah.
And you have to take advantage of everything. You have to. It's like, wow, it's hard. I'm
Definitely.
glad I'm not driving. I'm glad up here.
Yes, it's definitely easier to be up here than it is to be down in those cars for sure. So, definitely an exciting race for sure. And you can kind of see that that tail that you mentioned of a little bit of a broken up, segmented field all night long. Obviously, at the end there, Bud Steele, Todd Merkel, and Chris Bassini are top three, pretty close with Gabe Butler, Joshua Hanner, and Eric Laurie just behind them. But you had to go back 36 seconds to find our seventh place finisher of Michael Mayu. Sorry, and I know we had a little bit of some chaos and some damage. Obviously, Richard Sanchez not able to finish that final lap, so he actually unfortunately went one lap down. So he's the first car shown one lap down, finishing in 14th. So running back through the rest of the rankings, you mentioned the winner of Bud Steele, Todd Merkel, Chris Bassini, we already had interviews with. Gabe Butler holding on to that fourth place finish after some contact with his teammate after a push kind of gone sideways a little bit there. Joshua Hanner, great effort for those closed circuit racing guys to make their way all the way back to the front and have a shot at the win. Eric Laurie there was in that second pack, was able to catch back up to his teammates and try to help them to a win, but wound up sixth with Michael Mayu in seventh place there, kind of leading that second pack. James Moen, Nick Manfredi, and Brad Slagle in the top 10 for tonight, again in that second pack. Then we had Timmy Reed, Jim Brooks, Robert Jordan, and Richard Sanchez and Totten Dixon in the top 15. Derek Gilray was one lap down, as we mentioned, as well as Brandon Briggs, and Zachary Workman ended up finishing 2 laps down by the end of the race, and should be able to bring up our last page or a little bit of results here. Gael Brooks coming home 19th after some contact there that unfortunately we couldn't take a look at. Seth Groover hand grenaded his engine, it looked like, after getting a little warm in the pack, unfortunately. He finished 39 laps down, and Dave Bone was out early, and I don't think Edwin Outlaw only ran 6 laps tonight, so not much of a race for either of those guys tonight. So, I mean, what more could you ask for from a broadcaster's perspective?
Yeah, that was
iRacing Superspeedway.
Wow, I have been excited for a finish a long time.
Yeah.
That was a good one. That was. I mean, it did not disappoint.
No, not at all. All right, so I can tell I'm losing my voice just a little bit here from all the excitement, but I don't think, unfortunately, we're going to get that interview with Todd Merkel. Was trying to prolong it just as much as we could, but I think
we'll catch him next week or something.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to bring him up maybe in the middle of the broadcast or during qualifying next week and say hello. But yeah, definitely congratulations to Todd. Hanging in there, getting all the way back to the lead and leading the white flag lap, but his teammate taking the win over him on the last lap. Definitely a great effort from those guys again, and a lot of fun. So that will do it here for us at Green White Checkered TV. We're going to be out. We've got more racing on tap for this week. Stop in on Thursday, February 2nd. We've got our Thursday night Truck Series Super Speedway events. So they're going to be racing here as well. Same schedule as these guys on Sunday nights in the NextGen Cup cars. We're going to have the trucks here at iRacing Super Speedway. If tonight was an indication of how much fun it can be here at iRacing Super Speedway, I have a feeling that this Thursday is going to be just as exciting. So make sure you tune in there here again at Green White Checker TV for the action at Area 51. And we will be back at Daytona next week in 1 week's time. So it'll be a lot of fun. Actually, take it back. Next week is the Clash, is it not? Yeah, so next week will be, in real life, will be the NASCAR Clash. So we will have our race at Daytona. And then I think we're going to have a 1 week break. So I think we're going to actually take Super Bowl Sunday off, knowing that a lot of people typically get together for parties and whatnot for that weekend. But we'll be back. What was that?
I do.
Yeah.
I will be hammered.
Yeah. So I think we're going to be taking off in 2 weeks' time. So make sure you come back next week. We've got action at Daytona for the second time this season. Going to see if we can get another first-time winner in for the season, and yeah, it should be fun. We're halfway through now the regular season, so we'll have to have an update on points for you at the beginning of next race and kind of let you know where everyone's at and where that playoff cutoff line looks like, and yeah, should be an absolute blast. So thanks again for everyone tuning in. Obviously, you know, a lot of people tune in after the fact to rewatch the broadcasts. Obviously, all the drivers in the league and the admins and the team here at Area 51. We couldn't do this without you guys, so thank you guys very much. And we appreciate everyone who is watching tonight or like I said, rewatching after the fact. Always appreciate all of our loyal followers and loyal followers of the guys in the series. So a lot of fun that we have here, and definitely get to see some really great events and crazy finishes like we did tonight, and definitely makes it all worthwhile. So, but that'll be it for now. I'll get off. I'll stop talking. We'll get off for tonight, and we'll see you again back on Thursday, and we'll be back at Daytona next week here on Sunday night. Thank you all for tuning in, and hope you have a great week.